Y'all were buying name brands. So when I say lowered grocery prices, what I mean is you got to start getting the generics. You start getting them prices going to go way down. Hey, shout out to all of our subscribers and members here on the channel. My name is Reese Waters and I'm troubled. Now, you remember that video I just posted about the black family being accused of looting during the California wildfires?
I'm just tired. People, like the information is readily available. That is the homeowner and their family that is moving the stuff out before the fire gets there. White people do not care.
I am tired of people speaking negatively about the black community. I'm tired of seeing fake headlines painting black people in a bad light to get some attention.
I guess apparently black people were just supposed to wait in California for the kindness of strangers to help rescue them and everything that's valuable to them. Because we all know how protective America is of black life and black property.
Is there any reason y'all doing this, bro?
Good job, guys.
Do you understand that we didn't just show up here?
Well, one of the things I asked was, why is it that the accounts that amplify the lies and misinformation never seem to lose support, even when the stuff that they're posting is debunked time and time and time again? It's kind of like the facts and information is not the point. Like, the truth is not the goal. It is continuing to project my image of society. Reality be damned. Well, I happen to have come across this video and it explained a whole lot.
Everyone needs to stop and listen to this video. Whether you're MAGA or whether you're a Democrat, it's going to give us a lot of answers. I oftentimes ask MAGA on my lives, is there anything Donald Trump could do to lose your support? And if you're MAGA, I want you to think about that question. Oftentimes the answer is nothing, or unalive somebody, or a video of him actually graping somebody, but then maybe not because it could be AI.
And he knows those computers better than anybody, all those computers, those vote counting computers. And we ended up winning Pennsylvania like in a landslide, so it was pretty good. It was pretty good. So thank you to Elon.
This is actually really significant. It's a great question to ask, because if they're honest, oftentimes the answer will be no. And if the answer is in fact no, then what you have seeded is your support of Donald Trump has nothing to do with Donald Trump. That is what you have seeded, is that you're not evaluating this with any kind of critical thinking skills. You have just blindly decided who you're going to ride with, and you're going to move forward with that, whatever happens, whatever may occur, which is a stance. And it is wild that people like that's votes count the same as mine. That is a stance, but you also should also mention that, lead with that, and then eject yourself from any comprehensive discussion about our politics, because you have clearly asserted that you, quite frankly, do not care.
What I'm about to tell you probably won't hit if you're MAGA, but I'm hoping it does. I saw this on another creator's page, but 39 years ago, a KGB defector predicted modern America. Russia has had a long-term goal of ideologically subverting the U.S. The first stage is called demoralization, which would take about 20 years to achieve. We're there. This has been the Soviet plan all along, to undermine the U.S., not in the battlefield, but in the psyche of the American public.
So make America great again. What does that mean to you?
The America I grew up with, we want it back. We want people to stop censoring us. We want them to stay away from our Second Amendment. We want freedom of religion. So if you're a conservative, if you're a Christian, if you're white, you're male, it doesn't matter what color you are.
Wrong.
If you're white, you're male, it doesn't matter what color you are. We want people to be respected for who they are. We don't need to have stones of infinity stones because you're black, you're gay, you're trans. We just want everybody to be treated equal. And they're trying to say that we're the party of the racist party when they're the ones actually wanting Jim Crow rules back.
In what way?
What way? Colleges. They want to have black and white graduations. They want to separate us.
Where do they want that?
What colleges? Man, look. Okay, I don't know. Google it.
Now, through the miracles of the internet, which we're going to get to the downside of the internet later in this video, here's what he actually said.
Spoke several times before about ideological subversion. That is a phrase that I'm afraid some Americans don't fully understand. When the Soviets used the phrase ideological subversion, what do they mean by it?
Ideological subversion is the slow process which we call either ideological subversion or active measures, активные мероприятия in the language of the KGB, or psychological warfare. What it basically means is to change the perception of reality of every American to such an extent that despite of the abundance of information, no one is able to come to sensible conclusions in the interests of defending themselves, their families, their community, and their country.
Now, y'all saw how fuzzy that was. That looked like my first TV. That really gave me flashbacks to childhood and wondering whether or not I took out that chicken that my mother wanted me to take out.
Down. It's a great brainwashing process which goes very slow, and it's divided in 4 basic stages. The first one being demoralization. It takes from 15 to 20 years to demoralize a nation. Why that many years? Because this is the minimum number of years which requires to educate one generation of students in the country of your enemy, exposed to the ideology of the enemy.
You saw how old this video is? That was back in the 80s. He claimed that we were already in the process of demoralization, and this is pre the realization of the internet.
Is there anything Trump could say that could come on up that would make you not vote for him?
No. No matter what he says or does, I will vote for Donald Trump.
Well, if he said the N-word, would you still vote for him?
It wouldn't be right, but I would still vote for him.
So what it basically means is to change the perception of reality to every American to the extent that despite the abundance of information, no one is able to come to sensible conclusions in the interest of defending themselves, their family, their community, and their country.
Oh, we've seen a whole lot of that.
People tell me, oh, you need to vote for Kamala Harris because you need to think about women's rights and think about the women in your life that deserve rights. And all I can say to that is because women wanted rights before me, I have to drive to work every single day, clock in for 40 hours a week, and spend time away from my family.
This should be hitting you hard right now. They are programmed to think and react to small stimuli in a certain pattern. You cannot change their mind. Even if you expose them to authentic information, even if you prove that white is white and black is black, you still cannot change their basic perception and their logic of behavior.
Sound familiar? Huh? That sound familiar? Yeah?
Therapists have been screaming at the top of their lungs that this is what we're going through. A person who is demoralized is unable to access true information. The facts tell them nothing.
I got one. Yeah, I got one. Yeah.
Voting is a privilege in this country, and you need to be legal, not like California where 3 million illegals voted.
Let's talk about that.
I'm glad I brought that up, Allison.
Me too, Paula. So where are you getting your information?
From the media. Where else
Which
would we
media?
get? Some of it was CNN, I believe.
CNN said that 3 million illegal people voted
Well,
in
it was coming
California?
all across the media. All across. Well, CNN didn't do it, then they were being smart this time.
Do you think that 3 million illegal people
I
voted?
believe in California that there were illegals that voted.
How many?
I don't. To tell you the truth, nobody really knows that number.
But do you think 3 dozen or do you think 3 million?
I think there was a good amount because the president told people that they could vote, and it happened in Nashua. We caught some people that they went into Nashua and they said, the president said I can vote. I'm here illegally.
Did you hear President Obama say that illegal people could vote?
Yes, I did.
I heard it
this morning. Yes, I did hear it.
Tell me, where?
You can find it, Google it.
Even if I showed them information with authentic proof, with documents, with pictures, even if you take them to a concentration camp, they will refuse to believe it until it hits them. Until literally they're the ones who are impacted.
Oh, are we there yet, Maga? Are we there yet? I think that was Christmas. Yeah, not Christmas because it was a gift to all right-minded people to see y'all squabbling like you did on social media, because that was a gift. No, I mean actually during Christmas. That looks like a FAFO hit right there. That's what that looks like.
The demoralization process in the United States is basically completed already. For the last 25 years, actually it's overfulfilled, because demoralization now reaches such areas where previously not even Comrade Andropov and all his experts would even dream of such a tremendous success. Most of it is done by Americans to Americans, thanks to lack of moral standards. As I mentioned before, exposure to true information does not matter anymore.
That is demoralization. That is where we're at right now. It goes on to say the next stage is destabilization. This is what we're fearing with the Donald Trump presidency. It's basically targeting our structural elements like the economy, our foreign relations, and defense systems. Think about us removing ourselves from NATO, extreme nationalism, isolation. Elon has even said that our country under Donald Trump's plan is probably in for some economic pain, but it'll be worth it on the other side.
How fast did they go from slamming Kamala Harris and Joe Biden about the economy to we're probably in for some economic pain? How fast was it? Was it immediate? I mean, they waited like a week. I think he waited like a week. It was like, oh yeah, that whole thing about them grocery prices. Well, because the thing is, if y'all were buying name brand, you know what I mean? Y'all were buying name brand. So when I say lowered grocery prices, what I mean is you got to start getting the generics. You start getting them prices going to go way down.
But just days after sharing this assessment about the election with NBC's Kristen Welker.
I want on groceries. It's a very simple word, groceries.
In his interview with Time, the president-elect backed off his central campaign promise to lower prices for consumers, including on groceries, saying, look, they got them up. I'd like to bring them down. It's hard to bring things down once they're up. You know, it's very hard, but I think that they will. I think that energy is going to bring them down. I think a better supply chain is going to bring them down. Throughout the campaign, Trump repeatedly vowed lower prices.
But prices will come down. You just watch. They'll come down, and they'll come down fast, not only with insurance, with everything. It'll also bring your grocery bill way down.
See, y'all was shopping at indoor grocery stores. No, if you start doing your shopping at the outdoor markets, you know what I mean, start doing hand-to-hand, what we really need is to go back to a barter society. If we go back to a barter society, them prices are going to go way down.
The next stage, of course, is crisis. It may take only up to 6 weeks to bring a country to the verge of crisis.
What's the other side? Well, first of all, you have a crisis that would only be about 6 weeks.
And by the way, if we're talking about international relations and Elon Musk.
We're not doing that. We're not doing that. We're not having rule by nerds. Oh, yeah, tough guy. You're going to go to war on the likes of which you cannot possibly comprehend. You're a man-child, to be blunt.
I mean, I think until Elon Musk starts letting back on the true anti-CCP people that he keeps blocked off there, myself included. Not that I want to go on there. Oh yeah, no. He's owned by the Chinese Communist Party.
Screw you, you clown. Don't come up and go to the pulpit in your first week here and start lecturing people about the way things are going to be. If you're going to do that, we're going to rip your face off.
And after crisis, with a violent change of power, structure, and economy, you have so-called the period of normalization. It may last indefinitely. Normalization is a cynical expression borrowed from Soviet propaganda.
And the last stage is normalization. That's where your country is basically taken over, living under a new ideology and reality. And I don't I don't know how we stop it at this point. People are failing to understand the impending danger of this development, and nothing can happen. We can kiss our freedom goodbye.
Imagine trying to assert and proclaim your patriotism, saying America first, wanting to be ultra nationalist, while not caring about Russia's interference with our political discourse at large, or the possibility of Russian infiltration into our administration. Imagine proclaiming your patriotism while not caring about that.
You guys think that we've been living in peacetime with Russia, when in fact they've been attacking us with disinformation, misinformation, and propaganda for decades. It's so bad that even Republicans, 40%, didn't mind if Russia interfered with our elections.
Just imagine that. Just imagine that. 40% of Republicans don't mind if Russia interfered with our elections. And Hakeem Jeffries had the nerve to try and say, you can't love your country only when you win.
One should love America when you win and when you lose.
You've been paying attention, bro? You've been paying attention? Nah, I know you can freestyle. Nah, I know you can. I know you can freestyle. Them verses be hard. The MAGA movement revolves around only loving when you win.
It's okay. There are no election deniers on our side of the aisle.
I'm old enough to remember when that RT report came out and the right-wing influencers were outed for taking money for echoing Kremlin talking points, and nothing happened. Yeah, nothing. Just kept right on.
That is what we learned when the Justice Department announced indictments and sanctions Wednesday in a scheme that sounds straight out of 2016. The DOJ charged 2 Russian media executives in an alleged plot to illegally funnel millions of dollars to right-wing influencers by way of a pro-Trump media outlet. Specifically, the department charged 2 employees of Russian-backed media company RT with a nearly $10 million plan to fund an unnamed Tennessee content creation company as one of their covert projects to influence American politics. The company's description matches that of Tennessee-based Tenet Media, according to a review by NBC News of details included in the indictment.
And I don't know what to do. I guess this is why so many of us have been saying this is the FAFO stage, because until it literally hits them, they're not going to be able to snap out of it. We've been on this app for years trying to educate, show proof, and now we know why none of it works.
What do you love about Donald Trump?
I love the man. He's a real man, and I've been to 5 Trump rallies, and it just doesn't, we need him. This country needs him.
For what specifically? What's the one thing when you say we need Donald Trump? What's the thing He
was an excellent leader. He made lots of changes that really got our country moving, and these Democrats are ruining our country. They're just hell-bent on turning this country into a communist country. And they're going to try socialism first, then it'll go to communism, and we can't have that.
Where do you see that you're talking about evidenced in the last few years?
Trying to go to socialism? Well, let me think about that, because there's lots of things, but...
Interestingly enough, when they started this psychological warfare against us, it was targeted at Democrats and boomers. And what we've been noticing through the last few decades is a party switch, right? Those hardworking Americans that used to be Democrats have shifted over to the Republican side based on this propaganda and ideology. And the more educated people that were Republicans, including myself, have shifted over to the Democrat Party. And now that makes sense to me. I was trying to figure it out, but poof. I mean, particularly weak-minded people, uneducated people, Christians would be a great target as they already subscribe to a certain sort of ideology and are easy to manipulate. And honestly, that's not meant to be an insult.
It should be. I did. Okay, you didn't, but I did.
I need you to do me a favor right now. I need you to go buy the official Lorenzo Sewell coin. I want you to be able to see politics become manifest, not just in a way where we're praying over political gatherings, but where we're seeing us become the hands and the feet of the Lord Jesus Christ. Would you help me?
It's just where we are right now. And so using this information, how do we proceed when it doesn't matter if they watch January 6th on television, watch people take flagpoles and beat down police? A jury finds our president to have sexually assaulted a woman. He has felony counts. We literally hear his rhetoric and how dangerous it is. But now we know it doesn't matter what we say. It's not going to change their perception or their reality.
Tell me, what is the one thing that made your life better when he was president?
Well, everything that he did when he was president made my life better. The economy was great.
It's never been lower than it is right now.
Wait, do we get to edit this? Hang on a second. These are tough questions.
And what really concerns me is Donald Trump's relationship with Putin and how easy it is to manipulate him. He owes Russia. We potentially have Russian sympathizers in charge of our national intelligence. And unfortunately, Maga, if you stayed to the end, it wouldn't matter what I showed you. You wouldn't believe it anyway. And I don't know where we go from here.
And that is the $64,000 question, is where do we go from here? And as far as Trump and manipulation, I've posted videos about that a litany of times. And you want one more?
Now, he was very nasty last night. I try and be nice to people, but it's a little tough when they get personal. Please, again, remember, please, sir, don't get personal. Talk about policy. Let me ask you about that. We're going to do a free poll. Here's the two questions. Should I get personal? Should I not get personal? Ready? Should I get personal?
And we saw exactly who the A side is in that relationship by virtue of how the Russians celebrated Trump winning the election. And that was supposed to be your strong man. This was supposed to be because you couldn't. No, because we need somebody who's going to stand up to Putin.
To promise people all kind of goodies and the paradise on earth, to destabilize your economy, to eliminate the principle of free market competition.
US President Joe Biden has warned that America's democracy is under threat from the rising power of an ultra-wealthy elite and a, quote, tech-industrial complex. He gave the warning in his farewell speech from the White House days ahead of Donald Trump's return to office.
Today, an oligarchy is taking shape in America of extreme wealth, power, and influence that literally threatens our entire democracy, our basic rights and freedoms, and a fair shot for everyone to get ahead. We see the consequences all across America. I'm equally concerned about the potential rise of a tech-industrial complex that could pose real dangers for our country as well. Americans are being buried under an avalanche of misinformation and disinformation, enabling the abuse of power.
Oh, we've seen that. We've definitely seen that.
And to put a big brother government in Washington, D.C.
That ring a bell for anybody? Huh? This ring a bell?
This is what will happen in the United States if you allow all these schmucks to bring the country to crisis.
Oh, man. Oh, man.
People are not affecting climate change. You're going to tell me that back in the Ice Age, how much taxes did people pay and how many changes did governments make to melt the ice? The climate is going to continue to change. And there is no reason to just open up our borders and allow everyone in and continue to funnel over $50 billion or however many billions of dollars or trillions of dollars to foreign countries all over the world simply because they don't like the climate change.
That was it. That was it. We cooked. Yeah. And apparently, at least, what was that? 40% of Americans don't care. And that is why I'm troubled. Hey, I want to thank you guys so much for supporting the channel as we approach a new administration and the changing winds of our media landscape. I want to invite you to join my channel. I think it's very important to preserve a space and a platform where I can communicate clearly and honestly, as all of our creators are hoping to maintain. Unfortunately, it looks like that ground may be evaporating right underneath our feet. So I wanted to let you know I'm going to continue to post on my channel, but I'll also be posting more in the membership section as well, so we can have clear and honest conversations. You can find the button to join right there on my page. There's also a link in the description box to all of my videos. I also want to invite you to join my mindfulness and meditation channel. That's my second channel. It is Way of Waters, because we gonna need it. We gonna need it. I might wear that thing out by the midterms.